in this horrendous war started by Hamas. I also want to be clear that I'm not here to talk politics. I do a lot of politics. You can go to my Twitter or whatever. I'm here to keep the focus on the victims of October 7th, specifically the Israeli women who were victimized and abused on October 7th. I was compelled to put myself out there after I saw what was unfolding. It was October 6th here in the United States, and I knew that Gaza as we knew it would cease to exist. I knew this would be a horrendous disaster of epic proportions for my folks and my family and people. I was also horrified by the dehumanization of Israeli victims on October 7th, the celebration of taking women and children as hostages and relegating that to a mere act of resistance. This idea that October 7th was entirely unavoidable and that it was only a consequence of policies that Israel committed. I maintain that it was entirely avoidable and that Hamas made choices that harmed Israelis and harmed the people of Gaza. And so the main message that I want to share and offer here, again, in the spirit of keeping the focus on Israeli victims and Israeli women who were abused and the hostages as well, is that it is entirely possible to hold multiple truths, to have a focus on empathy and shared humanity, not as a kumbaya, big picture, let's hold hands and have falafels and everything's gonna be fine, but actually as a pragmatic evolution that's gonna help us get past one of the most horrific episodes of the Israel and Palestine conflict. And so I can feel empathy for Israeli women. I can feel sadness and horror. I can talk to Israeli hostage families as I have. I can talk to former hostages while I also am critical of the war and the killing of my family members. Children as young as 3 and 4 months old, shredded to pieces. My aunt Zainab, my uncle Abdullah, all of my family members that I grew up with, my homes being destroyed. I don't have to exclude the suffering of Israeli victims. And it's easier said than done. It takes a daily commitment. It's hard. I'm being pulled in a bunch of different directions. People on the pro-Palestine side and people on the pro-Israel side, everybody's projecting onto me what I need to be saying, what I need to be doing. And I've decided that I'm gonna speak my truth, leveraging my lived experience, my contacts and connections with the Jewish community, but also my contacts with my people and my family. And I want to just be one last thing clear, is like I never claim to speak on behalf of the Palestinians. I speak for myself, I operate solo, I have a very unique lived experience, but I can assure you that many Palestinians, maybe who are less outspoken than myself, who are afraid, who can't deal with the threats, or who are genuinely confused and don't know how to support their people, don't know that speaking out against sexual violence and rapes doesn't mean you support the war, doesn't mean you support the bombing of children in Gaza, doesn't mean you support what's happening. So there are many people that may not think exactly what I'm thinking, but they hold different bits and pieces of my views and opinions.
You know, earlier we spoke about